Yeah, definitely.
Click record on there.
Yeah.
So talk to me. Tell me what's happening.
So with Darla, it's like it's a tricky situation. So she we brought her from 12 weeks as a puppy from a really good breeder, and she was great. Like with them, they had no issues. We brought her home the first night. I had a crate and everything ready for her. This was like me and my ex. We had a crate and everything ready for her, and she was in the crate for probably all of about 5 or 10 minutes crying, and my ex couldn't cope with it and was like, no, just put her in the bed, which was like the worst mistake we could have ever made. And then from that point on, she kind of slept in the bed with us. And then we lived in an apartment at that point, and we used to like pop out to Tesco and pop out and do the odd thing and leave her. And like our neighbours never complained or anything. So we don't actually think she ever used to really bark when she was in the flat. I mean, I may be completely wrong, and our neighbours were maybe just really nice. But as far as I'm aware, she didn't used to bark when we lived at this 2-bedroom flat that we had. Then in May last year, we moved to a house. And literally the first time I ever left her was for my birthday. I went out for like a couple of hours, and I knew that Darla like whined and barked a bit from like when we like left her from odd times to times. But I went out for my birthday last year, just literally for a few hours, and then the neighbours were just moaning like crazy, saying that she was howling, she was barking. So I got like a camera put into the lounge so I could like watch her, and like I'd go out for like 5 minutes or whatever, and she howls. And what she does is she howls and cries at the front door, and then she runs upstairs and howls and cries upstairs. And we went and saw like a behavioural specialist last year for like one session. I think I said to you like I just wasn't really keen on it, and she told us to get like a snuffle mat, a licky mat, and a Kong, but it was kind of a case of just give her them when you leave. So then Darla got into a routine of just seeing them items and realizing straight away that we were leaving. So I kind of had to stop doing them, because what she was then doing is just not touching anything I was leaving. And like even now, say for example, if I left her a treat on the floor whilst I like go out, she won't even touch the treats. And then I went to Manchester the other day, and I got one of my friends to come and watch her, who she knows really well. Like she's been around so many times, and she's completely comfortable with her. And I think I was gone for like 5 hours, and she said that for the first 2, Darla was like really like cryy and whiny, and she sits like on the sofa with my friend staring at the front door like looking. And I put Darla, like I said to Ella, I said, here's her food, feed her when I walk out the door, just to try and distract her. And she didn't even touch her food. But then as soon as I got back, she ate her food, drank, and it was like she was like saving the food, thinking that I was like never coming back or something. But it's just a bit of a nightmare, because like in the house she's completely fine. Like she doesn't have to be sat with me, she's not crying to be on me. Like I don't know how I can actually, I can turn the camera around. So like right now I'm talking to you and she's literally playing on the floor with Cat. Like she isn't crying to sit on me. Like she's not bothered in any way, shape or form. She's just literally having the time of her life. And I've been cleaning the house and I've been going up and downstairs, and she's literally been sat in her bed sunbathing on the sofa. Like she's not bothered at all. And if I go to the supermarket and stuff, I can bring her in my car, she won't moan. She'll just literally sit in my car, silent as anything, not bark, not set the alarm off, nothing. And then she's fine. But it just seems to be like when I'm going to say it's the same with my ex. We haven't lived together since December. So it's kind of like it's died off with him a bit now, in the respect of like she doesn't cry as much when he leaves. Say for example, like he's had her for the day, she'll moan a little bit when he goes out the house, but then that's it, she's fine. But with me, like if I leave, she's upset straight away. But then she doesn't, like say for example, I go in the shower or go to the toilet, she literally doesn't care. She doesn't have to be in there with me. The only time I really find that she follows me anywhere is when I'm in the kitchen. She thinks she can get food. Like that's really about it with Tala. But like other things, she's great with people, loves everybody that she meets, great with other dogs. Like she's such a friendly little dog. Like she's never been vicious to anyone. She's really good in that respect. She's a little bit like protective to start with. She'll bark a little bit, but I would say to people, stroke her immediately. And she literally is like rolling around, wanting you to tickle her. Like she absolutely loves it. But she goes, because I own a salon, and my ex works as a labourer and he travels away quite a lot. She goes to my mother-in-law's 4 to 5 days a week with their cockapoo and their dachshund, and she absolutely adores them because she's known them since she was literally like our dog, since she was 12 weeks old, and they're great with her. She runs in their pack, but they bark at the window, like they're normal dogs, but they do bark, and she's picked up habits from them. But I've also realised as well, when she's with them, she's incredibly hyperactive and never chills out. And it's like she's constantly trying to be alpha dog or something. My mother-in-law did say to me a couple of months ago that when she walks them, Darla never scent marks or like never does anything, but I've walked them, like her with them 2 dogs before, and she scent marks every wee that they do and stuff. So I don't think that's not like a problem anymore. But when for example I drop her off in the morning, even though there's 2 of the dogs there's a TV or a radio on, there's always someone in the house, she's crying and howling straight away, like she's distraught that I've left her. And that doesn't last all day there. Like she kind of gets a grip of herself within an hour. Or say if there was a house full of people, that wouldn't be the case. She'd whine a little bit and then she'd completely like mellow out. But it's when she's there on her own with them dogs, or there's like somebody there, she'll howl and howl and howl and bark, and she won't settle down. So it's just trying to sort that, because the problem is I can't really rely on my ex's mum for the rest of my life to have my dog like 5 days a week. No matter that it's his dog as well, it's not going to work. And I'm a little bit apprehensive that if I went and put her in doggy daycare, say, like she's just going to howl and bark there and not be able to go there. She can come to my salon a couple of days a week, like on the days where it's not a problem and I can get her to go on a dog walker, if she would be okay with going with a dog walker, that is. But again, I can't really have that because I run like a clinical salon, so it's just not really an environment, and I don't want to spend every day of my life with Darla. It's going to do no good for her either. But it's then kind of her being on her own at home would be great, but she's got to not be barking and howling because my neighbours are just literally not going to put up with it.
Yeah. Okay. So in a nutshell, you've got a lot of kind of external pressure as well to get her into 100%. A position.
Yeah, it is a lot of pressure because my mother-in-law is absolutely lovely, but she's even said it's a problem and I don't want to burn my bridges there. I really need to get on top of it. And if she's there and not howling and barking and can actually chill by herself, then it's not an issue. But also I need to get it sorted so that if they turn around one day and say, you know, it's a bit awkward now, you bringing her here, I can be like, it's okay, she can go to doggy daycare and she can go there 3 days a week, and they're not going to be like, no, this dog can't come here, she moans and she barks and she howls when you leave, and then I'm left with absolutely no option. And literally, like, I'd never ever do it, I could never give Darla up, she's my life, but I have to put myself and my business first, and like I wouldn't have a roof over my head if I couldn't work, and I can't bring her to work with me, it's just not going to work. And it's unfair on her. I don't have the time in my day to go walk her for an hour, like I don't have the time to play with her, but also like my clients pay like quite a premium for the stuff that I offer. Like they're not going to want to come in, pay 200 and something pounds, and the dog's howling and weeing and barking,
like barking at the side of you.
It's not great. But I just really want to get it sorted just so I can like go to Tesco and leave her at home and she'll be fine. The reason why I mentioned about her coming upstairs is because I've noticed that as well, and when my friend mentioned it the other day, Darla will bark at the door downstairs but then come upstairs and bark, and I don't know whether that's because she feels safer upstairs or whether she feels safer downstairs. Like, I don't really know what it is about the whole running up and down the stairs barking, but yeah, she never just stays in one place.
Okay, and so if you were to leave Darla, say, in your living room and shut the door on her, how would she cope then?
She would cry. Like if I did, say for example, if I did that, she would think I was leaving and she would cry 100%. If I did it in the bedroom, she probably would do the same. But I've noticed Darla's like very clever. Like I've noticed I've put my shoes on, she knows straight away that I'm going. She gets all excited and runs to the door because she thinks she's coming with you. But say for example, if I just like popped out to my car or took the bin out, she wouldn't cry or bark then. It's when she kind of knows that I'm 100% leaving her. But yeah, if I was to shut the door, and leave her in a room, she would cry. She wouldn't bark, but she'd cry.
Okay. Okay. So just going back slightly, so you got her at 12 weeks.
Yeah.
She's in your bed now?
Yeah, still in my bed now. Okay. But at night, like, she isn't one of them dogs that has to be like glued to you. She literally is like the other end of the bed, like you wouldn't even know she's there. That's why she's so easy to sleep with. She's quite an independent little chick. Like, she'll just do things on her own and kind of chill on her own. Like, she doesn't have to be like glued next to you. Say if I'm sat on the sofa at night, she will like come and cuddle in next to me. But like, say for example she got too warm, she'd happily go sit on the other side of the sofa. And at night she sleeps in the bed, but kind of anywhere in the bed, like kind of more at the bottom. The thing is with my bed as well, it's a really high divan base. So I found that with Darla, because she's so little and the bed's so big to her, if I put her on the floor, like Darla can't even jump up, like it's that high. She couldn't even like give it a chance to jump up, it's that big. So if I like try and put her like on her bed on the floor, she would 100% cry because she wouldn't be able to like see me.
Let's have a look at her. You just picked her up?
Yeah. Sally, come here.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
She's honestly like, she's just so, I know like everybody says sausage dogs are stunning, but Darla literally is stunning.
She's beautiful.
Oh, you're so cute. Okay,
so let's have a little chat about your expectations. So obviously we've got booked in terms of 4 sessions.
Yeah.
What are your expectations? What are you looking to achieve in that time?
I think I'm not expecting miracles. I'm more hoping, I'd say, for tips, advice, and like ways that I can do this over a period of time to make like a significant difference. I get Darla's a dog at the end of the day. She's never not going to bark. She's never not going to cry. She's never not going to moan. Like, dogs aren't just, you can't just emotionally switch them off. I just want it to be significantly better where I can leave her. Yeah, she'll probably bark for 5 or 10 minutes, but then she just kind of gets a grip of herself and gets used to it. I'm not looking to leave her for like days on end or hours on end. I just want to do it so I can go out the house for 3 hours and she can be on her own. And mainly so she can go to my mother-in-law's or go to doggy daycare and not be distraught that she's not with me. She's not at that point where she'd like wee or poo or she'd like destroy something. She's just literally at that point where she like misses me, because it's hilarious because the moment I then come back home, she's excited to see me and then is completely doing her own thing. Like, she goes off and plays with her toys or does whatever. It's like now she's just literally walking around the room doing her own thing, just not really too bothered. Like, she doesn't have to be glued next to me. She'll come and see me for like a minute and then she'll get straight down and just go do her own thing. She'll probably go downstairs in a minute. But yeah, my kind of expectations are just to make it a lot better. Because I don't like, obviously you're the expert, but like I don't think Darla's that bad, you know, when you like think about it in like grand scales. Like, there's this program that I've been watching and I can't actually remember what it's called. I think it was on like Channel 4, and it was about like people and their dogs and their problems, and there was this like Frenchie that like attacks its owners when they even leave the house. Like, they can't get out the house without the Frenchie attacking it. Darla's not like that at all. I think I'd just like it to be better. So yeah, she'll moan and cry for a couple of like 5, 10, 15 minutes, but then she just gets used to it and I can go out for a couple of hours and stuff like that. I don't think I'd ever leave her at home all day by herself. I just don't think she'd like that. But this is what I mean. I have to get it sorted, because for that to never be an option that she's going to be at home, I have to get it sorted so she can go to my mother-in-law's or she can go to doggy daycare. So the max Darla's ever going to be left is like 4 hours. So if I go and get my hair done or something like that, it's never going to be a full day. It's just to the point that I can do stuff like that and she can just chill by herself. And like I said, I've got a camera that's already set up in the lounge, so I can watch her, and it's got a mic in it where you can talk to them. But I don't like to do it because I've like seen, like when my friends have, like my friend Ella, when she had it the other day, she rang me and I think Darla could hear my voice somehow through the phone and she started crying. So she does, I'd never do something like that, because for Darla it would just be like, it wouldn't be good for us to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about like training, any training that Darla has had, because how old is she at the minute?
She is a year and 7 months. She can sit. she can do paw. She's really good off the lead and really good on the lead. She's toilet trained. That's really about to the extent of her training, to be honest. But that's kind of all I've really ever needed with her. Like, great off the lead, great on the lead. And yeah, she's toilet trained. Don't get me wrong, we do have the odd accident. I mean, Dutch hounds, literally, I don't think there's any way you can even get around not having the odd accident with them. But literally, Darla's a lot better. Like, she wakes up in the morning, she goes straight downstairs, straight to the back door, cries for a wee. She's really good at my mother-in-law's as well. She'll go outdoors for wees there. That is one thing, to be fair, though, that has happened a couple of times. She seems to have more accidents there than she does here, and I don't really know why. I don't know whether it's because it's not home, and I don't know what it is, but here she'll constantly, honestly, she's brilliant. I see on this Dachshund group I'm in on Facebook, it's called UK Miniature Dachshunds. People always say that their Dachshunds will always wee and poo in the house if it rains. Even if it's raining outside and Darla needs a wee, she cries at the back door, which is like really good. And even when it was snowing, Darla was still going outside to the toilet. I didn't have any problems. I was really lucky. One thing that she started doing, which is great, but she never did before, is she now poos on walks. She always weed on walks, but now she poos, which is really good, because before she would only kind of really ever do that. Like, we went through a stage where she'd only do it in the dressing room, which was a nightmare. And then I started really instigating, being like, no, Darla, like, and putting her outside. And now if she ever has an accident, she knows straight away she's in the wrong and that she shouldn't have done that. And then she went through a stage where she was just doing it in the garden, which has been great. And ever since, she's been doing it. And now, in the past couple of months, every walk I take her on, I have to take a poo bag. She poos on every walk now, which is great. But yeah, like I say, she does do the little odd accident at my mother-in-law's. I'm not really too sure why it's happening there. But yeah, she's toilet trained. She can sit. She's been sitting since 13 weeks. Like, I just put that into her literally from the moment I had her. I was making her sit, and she does that. And she's learnt paw in the past few months. And she always, like, I mean, immediately now when she sits, the paw straight up because she thinks she can get a treat. But yeah, she's good with stuff like that. But off the lead and on the lead, she's great as well. And she's good with people, really good with people.
Okay. Talk to me about has she got any medical issues? Has she been to the vets? Anything?
No, literally nothing. She had, I think it was about 2 weeks ago now, she had a little sty that came under her eye. But that went within a day of it appearing. And it was just literally on like below her eye. She had that for literally all of a day. I was going to take her to the vets, but literally the next day it had completely gone. So no, apart from that, nothing. She's not really fussy with food. She'll kind of eat whatever. So no, I've never actually really had any problems with Darla.
Good. That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
With the is she up to date with like worming, fleeing, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. She gets all her jabs and stuff, and I take her to the vets for them because they just weigh her and then they know exactly kind of what she needs instead of me like giving her the wrong amount.
Okay. And you say she's not fussy with food. What food does she actually have?
So the way that the breeder started her off with food was she was having pedigree, I think it was like pedigree, like wet food. So she was having that 3 times a day, like half a packet 3 times a day. And then we upped it to 1 packet 3 times a day, which she still has. And then she has a bowl of, I can't pronounce it, but it's called like better biscuits throughout the days, like grazing. And I just leave them in a bowl, but it takes her weeks to get through them. Like, it's a small bowl. She'll have wet food in the morning. She has Win-A-Lot or Bakers. They're kind of the two that she likes. She likes wet food, jelly or gravy. She's never really too bothered. Occasionally she has Caesar, but that's rare. It's more Win-A-Lot and Bakers that she has. And she'll have that breakfast, lunch and dinner. She has a bowl of water throughout the day. And then biscuits are just down for kind of if she ever gets peckish, because I refuse to give her more than 3 packets of wet food a day. So if in between meals she's like wanting food, she can have some biscuits, but that bowl will literally stay as it is for 3 weeks. It will just slowly get grazed through. And then at my mother-in-law's, they feed her 3 times a day with the same food that we buy for there. They have biscuits down. They have I think it's called Baker's, like meaty all sorts or something. They're a bit bigger, but it's because they they've got a cockapoo, and they also had a Springer once upon a time, so they've always given them bigger biscuits, and she eats them. So that's kind of what she has. She's fussy on treats. That's one thing with Darla. She is fussy on treats. I struggle to find treats for her. She'll only really have things that are beef or chicken, and she only has things that are soft. Doesn't really like chewy things. She'll have the I can't remember what brand it is, but like these Rancho strips, they're in like a yellow packet. She likes them, but she's a bit more fussy. She won't have things like yogurt flavored or peanut flavored. Doesn't like peanut dog butter. Literally, I've tried her with that. Doesn't like it. But human food, oh god, she absolutely adores that. Literally yogurt. I've been putting in that Kong. I went and brought her a Kong, and I've been filling that with yogurt. She loves that. She'll always, like, say if you have a yogurt, she'll always cry for the yogurt pot after and want that straight away. But yeah, apart from that, she's all right with food. She isn't really super fussy with anything.
Okay, so there's definitely some really good points that you've got there as well. So I know you mentioned around the barking as well when we were on the phone. What kind of, when is she barking? What is she barking at?
So barking is more when she hears sounds. So like next door, I've got 2 dogs. So say, for example, she heard them walking out with their dogs, she'd bark. She'd bark for literally all of about 10 seconds, and then she would stop. And she stays in the same room and barks. Like, she'll be on the bed and bark. But the moment that I tell her no, like, she does this thing where she just goes like that, where she wants to bark, but she knows she can't. If the postman comes, she'll bark, but then say as soon as I open the door, she'll be wagging her tail like crazy for the postman to stroke her. Let me think of other examples. When she's at my mother-in-law's, obviously it's difficult for me to explain because I'm not really there, so I'm kind of just going off what they're saying, but I think it's the same concept with them, where say if somebody comes to the door or somebody walks by like the house, they all bark. But with Darla as well, at their house, when the other 2 bark, she obviously joins in. But it's similar here. If she hears noise or hears a car, she barks. But the moment the noise stops, she stops. And say if it's somebody coming into the house, she then stops. It's like when I've had guests over, she'll bark when someone's about to walk through the door, and then when they've walked through the door and instantly stroked her, literally she could not care less who you are. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing with Darla, she's hilarious, because you could walk in the door, she'd bark at you, but her tail will be going absolutely mental, and the minute you stroke her, she instantly calms down. She doesn't even make a sound anymore, and she's so like not afraid of people. Like, I had a friend round for dinner last week, and she'd never met her before. She barked when she came in the door. She stroked her straight away. She was fine. And then for the majority of the evening, Darla didn't even want to know me. She was just sat on her lap. Like, she's not afraid of people at all.
Okay. And then in terms of training wise, so I know that you touched on around that she can do sit and paw and things like that. You've been, and you mentioned that you had a behaviourist in at some point as well. What was their kind of techniques? I know that you mentioned around a lick mat and a snuffle mat and leaving.
That was really it. They said as well to put her in the bedroom when we left. So they said put her in the bedroom with her bed, the snuffle mat, licky mat or Kong, and then just leave her with a camera. But Darla would just howl and howl and howl and bark. And I just said to Luke as well, I was like, oh, I just don't know, like, if maybe leaving her in one room is right, or whether she needs a house, or whether we should be leaving her downstairs instead of upstairs. But then, like I say, because we were just giving her that stuff when we were leaving, she then got the association that she knew instantly when that stuff came out that we were going. But we didn't do any of the training, just because when we did take her twice, I think it was, like a puppy socialization class, but the woman who was running it just wasn't like you were really learning anything. It was more just like your dog was socializing. But Darla was really lucky that she was already socializing with 3 of the dogs at Luke's mum, so we just didn't really feel the need to continue it. And then, like I say, from 13 weeks she was sitting, we were then getting on top of the toilet training, and she's always been good on the lead and off the lead, so we kind of just didn't really feel the need to go do any of the training because the basics were there. And that behavior session, we literally had 1 session, and she was a lovely woman, but she did a lot of like dog charity work, and I felt the majority of the session she was just talking about her charity work, which is lovely, but I just didn't really feel that there was much spoke about with Darla's issue.
Yeah.
And then the only tips that we got just didn't really work. And then we just never went back because we both just thought it wasn't right for Darla. Like there wasn't really any tips that we could, like with this, there'll be like tips that we can like continue. But with that, I just didn't really feel that there was.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said to you on the phone, it's not about me.
No, yeah.
You know who I am. You've spoken to me on the phone. You obviously see what we do. That's I'm not going to be talking around what's going off there. Okay, so if Darla does something that you don't like, how do you let her know that she's...
So I always raise my voice and say no, and I'll kind of like point my finger at her and she instantly knows that she's like in the wrong. And that's normally about it. Don't get me wrong, if she's done something really naughty, which is rare, I do tap her on the nose, but I don't really like doing that. So it's rare that I do it. But it's only when she's done something that's really naughty that she knows she shouldn't have done. I'm trying to think of like, I think like once I've done it when she's chewed through my clothes and I'm like, what are you doing, Darla? Which she doesn't. It's really weird, Darla, because she's, you know how with puppies you get them where they chew through furniture and stuff. Darla's never done that, never. But if I leave like a top on the floor or something on a really random occasion, she'll chew through it. She hasn't done it in quite a few months, but she was doing it before where she was just randomly chewing through stuff, even when I was in the house. So I've told her off for stuff like that before. And I think if she's ever like weed on the carpet when she knows she definitely shouldn't, I've done it. But I don't like doing it because it's just not nice. But I kind of just say no to her and like point, and she knows like from the tone of my voice that she's definitely in the wrong. Or I'll be like, Darla, and she knows straight away. And she does, because if I do that, like she instantly changes. Like it's like with the barking, she won't shut up, but she will be like, because she knows she can't. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. And then, so have you used any like sprays or anything like that? No. Okay.
No, I've never used stuff like that. Me personally, I just couldn't. Like I know some people really recommend them and they like the collars and so I just really couldn't put myself through doing that. Like I'd rather work over months to try and get Darla like to be like behaved than spray her in the face or get a collar that like zips her. Do you know what I mean? I just couldn't do it. So many people have like said it to me, oh, you need to get them collars or get them sprays, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that to my dog.
That's fine. Okay. And you might think it's a bit weird that I'm asking that, bearing in mind a force-free and a force-free reinforcement, but it gives me a clear idea as to what she may have been exposed to.
So no, Darla's never had that.
It is so rife that
definitely
it's not uncommon.
I know.
Those kind of techniques.
Definitely.
And that kind of makes my job a little bit more difficult because then I've got to unpick and build that trust back up again.
100%.
No, that's fine. Okay, so she's good interacting with other people. She's good interacting with other dogs. What's she like with strange dogs?
Say for example, if I'm on a walk, she will like, you know how dogs do, like say if they growl at her, she'll growl back at them and like pull to go near them. But it's really weird with Darla because if she's off the lead, she may sometimes with certain dogs go up to them and sniff them, but other dogs she'll just walk straight past and is not bothered. And she's the same with people, but it's when she's on the lead that she's a little bit more like goes to bark and stuff like that. It's really weird because I've been like to places before where there's been like little dogs or little dachshunds and she's just not bothered. And I've also got two friends that have got two dachshunds. One of them's got a miniature and the other's got a miniature, and she gets along with them like a house on fire, literally best of pals with them, and literally loves seeing them. Like I've walked her with them, they've been to stay at my house, I've been to stay at their house, and they've both been there, literally completely adores them. And the one of them who's got a little dachshund, she's also got a Labrador called Tilly, and Tilly's soft as anything, and Darla loved playing with her. It was the first time she'd ever met her, and you'd think that Darla thought that she was her size, like they were just running around together, not afraid, not submissive, nothing. It's just more kind of, if I do walk her on certain occasions with certain dogs, she is a little bit more like and barky. But she'd never do anything to them. It's more she just wants to go up to them, she sniffs them, and then she's not bothered, she just runs off, and that's really about it. But she's it's like, for example, we live right near Rutland Water, and I walk her there every day, and at the minute a certain part of the reservoir where we walk has got sheep on it. Literally there is a flock of like 60 sheep, not bothered. at all. I keep her on the lead because you have to when they're out, but literally not bothered. She just walks straight past them. They're moving, making sounds, doing all sorts, not bothered one bit.
She's probably thinking, what the hell are they?
I know.
What are they? Those big fairy things.
I know. But that's the thing. Like, certain dogs would be like straight away running over there, but no, Darla's just literally not bothered one bit.
Okay, and your kind of daily routine. I mean, I know you said she obviously goes to your mother-in-law's 5 times a week.
Yeah.
In terms of that routine, what
so routine normally is wake up in the morning, she'll go downstairs for a wee, she'll have her breakfast, I then get ready for work. She'll either potter around downstairs or she'll potter around upstairs. Normally she'll either potter around upstairs or downstairs, or she'll get back into bed and sleep because she's lazy as anything. I find on a morning where I'm working, I literally can't drag her out of bed. She's like a teenager. Like, I'm literally dragging her out of the bed, like, Darla, get up and eat. She just wants to stay in bed forever. Then I'll drive her to my mother-in-law's, which is the next village. So it's about 5 minutes away. I'll drop her off, let her out for a wee there. She'll have a sniff in the garden, go for a wee. I then go to work I leave there at about 8:30, go to work till about 5. My ex normally picks Darla up at about 3 o'clock from my mother-in-law, so his mum's. She'd then come back home, she'd play, she'd do whatever, and then I get back home, she'd have dinner, and then normally she plays for a little bit in the evening, and then she just really likes to chill out. She'll just sleep on the sofa with you. In lockdown at the minute, obviously it's a bit different, it's the same routine in the morning, but once she's had a breakfast, she'll sit on the sofa with me, chill out with me. I do some bits and bobs that I need to do. We go on like a good 4 or 5 mile walk. She'll come back, she'll nap, she'll play with her toys. Like, she's really, like, she's such an easy dog in some respects. Like, she really doesn't mind. Like, at the minute, because the sun's shining, she loves just literally sitting on the arm of the sofa and sunbathing by the French door. She just lives the life of Larry. Like, she just loves chilling out. I think it's been probably a bit hard for Darla because me and my ex have been kind of on and off since the summer. We've been together like nearly 6 years, and we've always lived together, always had like our own place. We got Darla together, and then kind of from the summer last year, she was either here with me or she'd go spend a couple of hours with him at his apartment, which is literally across the road, or she'd be at his mum's. And then, like, on certain times he'd have her, then I'd have her, and then at the minute it's kind of a case of she's just more with me instead of with him, just because he finds when she goes to his flat she kind of just cries to leave. So at the minute she's kind of with me at home, or she's doing what she needs to do with me or at his mum's. That's kind of really like the two differences, but that's how I kind of want to keep it with Darla, like just kind of keep it to either being with me or being at his mum's, just to not like upset her routine. And that's why I really don't want to take her to work, just because that's not going to be like a long-term thing, and I don't want to keep messing her about, being like, you're here, you're there, you're here, you're there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so talk to me about, I know you said that she sleeps in your bed with you.
Yeah.
Where else has she got to go and sleep? Has she got somewhere else to go and sleep?
So she's got a bed, so she could sleep in her bed. I've tried it a couple of times. I've put her bed at the end of the bed, and whilst I'm getting ready for bed, I've put her in her bed at the end of the bed, like on the bed but at the end, and she'll fall asleep in it. But the moment I get under the covers, she literally lifts her head, looks at me, and she's like, aha, no. And she comes crawling straight up, gets under the quilt and sleeps. So she could sleep in her bed, she could sleep on the sofa downstairs, she could sleep anywhere, like this thick pile carpets. And then the cat, who's literally like Darla's best friend, the cat sleeps all over the place. Like, at the minute, for some reason, she's sleeping in the washing basket. So it really depends. But Snowdrop's always around. She's always majority in the bedroom. So it's not like Darla would be sleeping on the floor by herself, but I just know that it's going to be a long time to get Darla to do that, because I can't even get her to stay in her bed at the end of my bed. But it's weird because in the day, she'll happily sleep in that bed all day. Like, she'll sleep in that bed in my car, she'll sleep in that bed on the sofa, she'll sleep in that bed on the floor. It's just at night, I think she loves that bed. So I don't even think it's me. I generally think it's the bed, because she doesn't just like sleep next to me. She goes under the covers, she snuggles up, she rests her head on the pillow. Like, she just loves that bed. I don't even think it's me. I think it's the bed.
Okay. So the bed that you're talking about, so the bed that you could put on the end of your bed.
Yeah.
In the daytime. So if you're at home, where is that bed usually?
So it moves all over the house. So say, for example, I'll be upstairs doing something. If I kind of want if Darla like follows me up here, I'll just chuck her bed like on the floor somewhere and she'll get in that and chew a bone or whatever. Say if I'm downstairs, that bed will be on the sofa or it'll be on the floor. So say at the minute, because she's like sunbathing, I'd probably put it by the French doors and she'll lie in that bed and sunbathe. When we go out in the car, that bed comes in the car, and she sits in that bed in the car. So it's kind of all over, really. It's like the bed moves everywhere.
Okay. And when you go out of the house, so when we're looking like longer term, where do you want her to be? So you leave the house, and where do you want Darla to be?
I literally don't mind. Wherever Darla is going to feel better. Ideally, I'd like her in the lounge, just because if she had an accident or whatever, it's a wooden floor. I don't really want her weeing and pooing on a carpet in a bedroom. And I think as well, like, I don't know if I'm wrong, but like the lounge would be better. All her toys are in the lounge. Like, I could leave a bowl of water in the lounge. Like, I could do whatever. Like, the house, there isn't like a door to the stairs. There's a door into the lounge that I could close, but I could leave like all the doors open and she could literally have free reign of the house if she wanted to. She could kind of go wherever she wanted, but ideally I'd want her in the lounge, just because the flooring in there is wooden, so if she had an accident I wouldn't feel like annoyed that she had an accident. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So from your lounge, can you see your front door? So would she be able to see going out of it?
So if I left the door open into the hallway, she'd be able to see, literally you see the front door straight away. There is French doors in the lounge that you see out into the garden, but there's curtains on them I could close. But if I left the door open from the lounge into the hallway, she'd be able to see the front door straight away.
Okay. So quite a lot around separation and separation anxiety is about them not being either able to relax themselves, self-soothe, or that they panic. So they panic when they're on their own. There's obviously been a lot of kind of movement in terms of, obviously you've moved house, you've parted ways, there's been a lot of changes for her to kind of cope with, which understandably there's going to have been some impact from that to her, because things have changed, which is, that's it is what it is. You can't undo that, you can't change that. Now from Darla's point, I would be looking at, where is a bed? So if her bed moves around quite a lot of the time, that would be like me saying to you, it's time to go to bed, and then you go upstairs to get your bed and your bed's not there, and you go,
I know what you mean.
Where has my bed gone? And then it's somewhere else. So I would have a fixed point that bed stays. So if you're wanting long term to leave her in the lounge, have it in the lounge, and don't move it around the lounge. Just encourage her to be going to that same place. So if upstairs, you're downstairs, wherever you are, encourage her to go to that bed. And that will help alleviate some of the kind of, oh well, where is my bed? Where do you want me to be? Because if you're going out, and I know you said that your friend came around to kind of dog sit the other day. But if her bed isn't where she's expecting it, and if it constantly moves around, then that's not very routine for her to think.
No, definitely.
I need to go to my bed, or I need to go to a crate, or anything like that. Have you still got a crate?
No, I got rid of the crate. A crate I don't really want to put her in as well, because when she was a puppy, when she was crying so much on the crate, she got like a tooth caught on the crate, and it was just awful because I had to like lift her mouth off it. So a crate is just not something I'd want to do. But also my mother-in-law's 2 dogs, they like sleep in their beds downstairs and stuff, and they're not like crate dogs. So say for example she went and stayed there overnight or something, they wouldn't be in a crate, they'd just be in their own beds next to each other in the kitchen.
Okay. And the reason I mention a crate is because a dog with separation can often benefit quite a lot. Now, when I'm talking about having a crate, the door wouldn't be closed, so she's not closed into the crate. It's just to have that block over the top, so it's more of a safe space. It's more of like a little, you almost created a bedroom without the door on it. Okay?
I feel
Has she got anything like, I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff out there at the minute, anything like a teepee or anything that she can go into?
No, she hasn't, but now that you say that, I can get a crate. 100% I can get a crate, because if she then would benefit from that, it can just be taken to my mother-in-law's. So when she's there, like to stay overnight, for example, she could just get into it.
And the principle behind the crate training is that you'd put her bed, so the bed that you want her to stay in, inside the crate, and then just, you can take the door off if you want to. You don't have to. Separation. So when we're talking about separation, it's an umbrella term. So frozen. So it's an umbrella term, and it basically encompasses lots of different types of behavior. So it might be crying, it might be whining, it might be scratching, it might be chewing, it might be messing with the floor, and all of these different things. And what separation really is our dogs panicking when they're being left. So whether they're closed into a room, so it might be they're frustrated with the door because the door's closed and then they can't actually get to you. It may be that they don't like being on their own, so it may just be isolation. So whether the door's open or not, they would still be panicking, which is kind of what you're sort of describing, which would be that isolation type of behavior. And it goes on like a scale. So really mildly, you'd have roughly what Darla's kind of experiencing. So you may see some crying, you may see some howling, you may see some pacing, some panting, some general distress that doesn't feel very comfortable for us to watch either. And then as that kind of goes up in levels, and you're kind of extreme, if you like, is trying to literally fight the way out of the house, smashing windows, chewing through door frames, that kind of thing. So that would be on your excessive. Now, if we come back slightly to where Darla's going to be sitting, she's going to be sitting, it's somewhere in between mild and medium. Okay. Now, a dog with separation doesn't have to show any signs at all. So they can sometimes almost suffer in silence. So just be very, very quiet, not do an awful lot. But actually that process is still the same. Now, I noticed that you said about when you put your shoes on, she knows that you're going outside. Now, it may be your routine that she knows. Okay, so that could be anything from you getting up in the morning, having a shower, putting your makeup on, spraying a particular perfume on that you wear to go to work, whatever it is. So something, it might be that you straighten your hair before you go to work, or you might wear it up if you're just going out to the bin, for example. So she's like, right, well, you've done this, 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 and this. And at each point, she's actually getting herself a bit wound up.
Right, I see,
Okay. And then when the shoes come out, she's like, woohoo, let's go. Time to go out. And then you're like, no, it's not, you're not going out with me today. So does that make sense so far?
100%.
Okay, so there's a few things that you've said that I would put a question mark over. First one being is her food. Now, if it's taken her 3 weeks to eat a bowl of food, then chances are she's not really liking it.
No,
Okay. In fact, I'll type it in here. So there's a diet has a lot to do with how our dogs behave. So if I was to say to you, there's a website on there, and what you can do is you can put in for the nutritional rating of the food that you're feeding her, see where it comes out. There are much better foods that she could be having. In terms of nutritional value, in terms of not necessarily so produced food. So if you were to look at, say, in human terms, if you were to look at, say, McDonald's, or you were then going to look at homegrown, there's a big difference of how that McDonald's diet is going to impact you long term, and how that homegrown food is going to impact you as well.
Definitely.
So I would have there's a question over a diet, just because the quality of the food may not be quite matching up with her ability to then be able to settle. Because if she's up on a level on, say, the preservatives and additives of the food that she's eaten, might be a bit high for her, and she just needs to be brought down a little bit. So if that slow change of food happens, you may then see that she's a bit calmer in herself. And she's able to cope a little bit more with situational things that are happening, because it doesn't sound like it's every single time that she's left. There seems to be kind of certain times when she's more distressed than others.
Yeah,
Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah, definitely.
I like what you've said around the lick mat, the Kong, snuffle mat. They're all fantastic. They're all stuff that I will get you to use. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have to use them appropriately. Now, there's
Yeah.
no point in just bringing them out when you're leaving, because absolutely, as you've said, the association that she makes is that those things come out means you're leaving.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have a dog that thinks like that. We want to have a dog that goes, oh yeah, my snuffle mat's out. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm going to really enjoy this. I'm going to have a really great time with this.
Yeah.
Not, oh goodness me, where are you going? Oh, you
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're up to. So dogs are able to be suspicious. They have an emotion that allows them to be suspicious. So when we're doing things, I don't know if you've ever tried to give her a worming tablet or something like that, and you're desperately trying to give her something, and you're thinking you're being sneaky about it.
Yeah.
It's clicked onto you, and you're like,
yeah.
and it's that element of suspicion. So we actually create that for them. Our body language, they are very good at reading. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would always say is, if you're if she's alerted or suspicious at any level, then the chances of her actually being able to do something are minimized. Okay, so if you're pretending that you're going out somewhere, she's going to know you're pretending that you're going out somewhere. Yeah. So if you're trying to trick her by putting your shoes on and going out to the bin, she knows that you're trying to trick her because you haven't even put your makeup on.
No, yeah, she knows that you haven't done the routine. Yeah.
Yeah, because humans are creatures of habit. Okay?
Yeah.
So first things we need to do, so we need to look at the house setup. So you've already said you wanted to be in the lounge.
Yeah.
Fine. Get that bed in the lounge, wherever you want to set her up. Ideally, you want to set her away from the front door. Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes what happens is when they see us actually leaving, that can be a bit of a trigger for them, because they're like, oh, you've left me.
Yeah.
I've seen you go and it's too much. I can't cope with this. Now, what I would suggest, I don't know if you've got any friends that have got kids.
Yeah.
If they've got a spare stairgate that you could borrow for short term.
Yeah. Yeah.
And put a stairgate up at your living room door.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it keeps her in there, but she's not frustrated that she can't see because you've closed a solid door on her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with the lick mat, the Kong, the snuffle mat, I want you to introduce them when you're at home. So when you're at home with her in the evening, and I know you said she's generally fine when you're in the house with her, and that's fine. That's a really good, that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Getting her to use the snuffle mat. So use her meal times. So use some of the food that she's not eating, hold some of her food back, and use that and put it in the Kong, spread it on the lick mat.
Yeah.
Get her used to actually just playing with those things while you're in the house. Okay.
Yeah.
So it might be in an evening. What time does she actually put all her teeth back in? What time does she actually have her last meal?
Normally around 6 o'clock.
Okay. And do you give her that last meal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 6 o'clock is now going to become a time that she has her meal a different way. Okay.
Yeah.
So in a Kong, on a lick mat, you're probably not going to put wet food in a snuffle mat.
Yeah.
You might want to do a handful of the kibble
Yeah.
into the snuffle mat.
Yeah.
And give her that, but give it her in your living room.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she has like a positive association. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's doing something nice in there. Now, I'm not saying to you, get up and walk out of the lounge. I don't want you to do that. I want you to stay in the lounge, and I want you to just move around. Sorry, that was my cat in the background.
Oh.
The old boy.
Oh.
So get her, when you give her those things, just move around in the lounge. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't go out of the lounge, just stay in the lounge with her, but you're going to make a conscious effort to be moving around.
Yeah.
She's doing something, and this is the first stages of what I would call independence. So teaching her it's okay to do something, and you don't need to be sitting with her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So again, we're creating that positive for her.
Yeah.
And then once you know that she's happy doing that and you can walk around the lounge, she's quite happy with you walking around the lounge, you can then start leaving the lounge.
Yeah.
For a few seconds at a time, leave the lounge, come back in. But it's really important you come back in before she finishes.
Yeah.
So that this good thing happens, but you go away, but then you come back before that's finished.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a different way round of doing what they kind of explained that you kind of started doing, but it sounds like you didn't really have that support to actually get you going the right way.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I would look at doing just as a starter.
Yeah.
How does that sound to you?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good. Definitely. I've given her, I think it was last week, I gave her a dinner in the Kong just to kind of see if she'd like it, and she really did. So I'm definitely going to try that.
Yeah, and it's about enrichment as well. So I know you mentioned around chewing. Is she in general a chewer?
No, I mean, she loves bones. She loves to chew bones, but she's not like, I never worry about her chewing furniture or chewing things. So for example, if I left like a toilet roll holder on the floor, that would be chewed to death. And if there's a bone, she loves chewing bones. But no, she's not like a chewer for furniture or anything, but for things like bones and stuff like that, she is.
Okay. Chewing, licking are ways that help induce calmness. So they help with the hormones in the dog's body to calm them down. So that's why I'm asking if she's a chewer, because if she enjoys chewing, give her stuff to chew on. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of, have you ever heard of yaks?
No.
So they're like a squashed, they're Himalayan cheese. They smell like smoked cheese, and they're like a hard chew.
Right.
And they're relatively safe to just be chewed on.
Yeah.
You can get them in all different sizes. You can get small ones, medium ones, and large ones.
Yeah.
Although they're a little bit on the kind of the higher end of products, they're really actually worth investing in. So a yak and an antler.
Yeah. I've tried her with an antler and she didn't like it.
Okay.
The only two chews that I've tried Darla with that she did like was this thing from Pets at Home in like the bone sections that aren't like rawhide. It was Hollingsworth pickle stick. I don't know what that is. She liked that a lot. And they stink. I hate them, but she absolutely adores them.
Was it a pizzle?
Yes, that's it, a pizzle stick. And I have no idea what it is, but it stinks and she adores it. And then a pig ear. She loves pig ears.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So do you want me to tell you what a pizzle is?
Oh God, what is it?
It's gross. It's a bull's willy.
Oh God. Oh God, that is hilarious. That's her favourite. That is literally her favourite chew.
So there's another place that sells so it's almost like a box of horrors when you open it, or you can get them in packets from Sausage Dog Sanctuary.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And basically there's a variety of different things in there. Now it depends how squeamish you are. Obviously, if you're having pizzles in your house, you're not too squeamish because it stinks.
Yeah.
Nothing really smells any worse than that.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay. So there's different, like there's chicken's feet. There's some of it is very obvious what it is, and other stuff isn't quite so obvious. So they're always good items to have, because again, that chewing helps the calmness. Now I wouldn't necessarily leave her alone with these items. Yeah. But it's a good starter for building up that separation, because with separations that you are going to separate from her at some point. Yeah. So let me type in here. Sausage Dog Sanctuary Food.com.
Perfect. Yeah.
With us the dog's code, I think it's the dog's code 10. We'll give you 10%.
Perfect. Thank you.
So that's a nice cheeky little one there. Yeah. Yak chews, they're, again, I mean, they smell like smoked cheese, so they're not offensive to our noses at all.
Yeah. Perfect.
And having like a variety of things that she can do, but always making sure that when you give her something to do, she's either on or near to that bed. Yeah. Okay, so that she learns that the bed is the place to hang out. So if you give her a Kong, give it on a bed.
Put it in the bed,
Give her a lick mat, give it on a bed. If she takes the Kong away from her bed, just go and put it back onto her bed. Or direct her onto a bed. Come on, darling, on your bed. In you go. And if she doesn't, does she know that cue already? If you would say,
Yeah, she does. If I say to her in your bed, she gets in her bed. And I've noticed sometimes if I've given her like odd little treats or her bones, I'll put them like near her bed, not even thinking what I'm doing, and she picks them up and carries them into her bed. She likes to chew her bones in her bed. So I think that will be relatively easy to get her to do that, to be fair.
Yeah. So she's got a safe place. So the bed is a safe place that nobody interrupts her when she's there.
Yeah.
With some of the new stuff that you introduce, so if you do get things like chicken's feet and things like that, it may be that you start actually just holding it to start with and let her nibble it, just so you're happy with how she's kind of chewing it, because sometimes they have that tendency, you know what they're like, the Daxers, they all do the same, they like gobble things in and you're like,
can you not chew?
Did you forget your ability to chew there? So there are a few things to at least start with. Happy with those?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just watching my cat do an assault course of the wardrobes and all the drawers. I just can't deal.
Mine's curled up on a suitcase on the floor.
This is mine right now on top of the wardrobe. Honestly, this is just what she's like. Like the whole house is just one big assault course to her.
Sounds like my other one. My other one's usually I've got a wardrobe at the side, which is just like a high. It's actually just an office unit, really. But yeah, she sometimes goes and sits there, scares the life out of me when she sticks her head out.
This is literally Snowdrop. She's in a storage box now on top of the wardrobe, and she'll stay there for hours.
I sit.
She's like, I'm staying here now.
Okay, so that's the kind of the first things I want you to look at doing. The second things I want you to look at is your routine. And what triggers her. So I know you mentioned shoes, but like I say, there will be things prior to that.
Keys, coat. As soon as she hears my keys, she instantly thinks when I put my coat on. That's really about it, to be completely honest. It's more like keys, coat and shoes. If I have a shower or I do my makeup or something like that, she isn't bothered. It's more when I grab my keys and she hears them, I put my coat on or I put a pair of shoes on, that she's like, oh my God, you're leaving.
Okay. And what about the actual front door?
Yeah, when I do all of them things, she's already stood literally immediately by the front door waiting for me. And when I open the front door, she's trying to get out of it with me. And I'm like telling her, no, darling, no, stay. And then when I walk out the door, it's normally within like 50 seconds of me being like out the door that I can hear her crying out the door.
Okay. So you've got a short space of time. You've got a bit more than some people may have as soon as they open that door. But what we're looking to do with that stair gate is prevent her actually getting to that front door as well. So when you go out on a walk with Darla, how does she respond when you get her like lead and stuff out?
Oh, so excited. She knows, like as soon as she sees the harness and sees the lead, and she knows the word walkies as well, her ears prick up straight away. Like she's over the moon. Like she knows what's coming and she gets really excited. Okay,
let's make that a little less exciting. So what kind of lead does she have? Is it a fixed length or is it an extender?
It's an extendable lead, and then she's got a harness that kind of just slips over her head. It's really like not got much around the arms, and then it clips around her belly, because the harness that we'd brought her once, like when she was younger, was rubbing like around her arms. So I ended up buying this harness that was like 40 something quid, but it's like really good for her and it's really adjustable. But yeah, that's what she's got. She's got an extendable lead, and she doesn't chew it or anything. Like I know certain dogs really chew at their leads, but Darla doesn't. It's like a really thin cord as well. It's the same brand of lead that she's had since she was a puppy. I just ended up getting like a longer one as she got bigger and wanted to go further.
Okay, so with her harness, so add her harness on before you give her those things for her food at 6 p.m.
Right, okay.
Because we're going to pair the harness means something calm happens.
Yeah.
Not the harness means something exciting happens. So
right, okay.
When she's thinking that you're going out the front door, it's likely to be the same process. The keys are coming out, that coat's going on, you go into the front door, and that's why there's this battle at the front door, because she's kind of forgetting about a harness and a lead, and she's going, oh, it must be time to go for a walk then.
Yeah.
And then when you're not taking her, she's like, well where are you going? Why have you not taken me with you? Why can't I come with you? You're going on a walk without me. So having that harness on is going to just help slightly to realize that going out on the walk isn't always about being crazy. It's about going out on harness is about being calm rather than crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So again, it's all about association. It's all about pairing different things with different meanings.
Yeah.
And if you can, now some of it could be food related again, with the whole excitement thing. Now they do get super excited. If we get them excited, they will get excited as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And that generally will set your walk up as well. So if she's, I think I've got it behind me here. So on here, can you see this triangle?
Yeah.
So this is a stress triangle.
Yeah.
At the bottom here, we've got calmness. So they're listening to us, they're focusing on us, they're looking up at us when we're walking with them. And then we get up onto the second stage. So that's where stress is coming into their situation. So things like they've seen another dog, or they've seen a person, or it can be good, it can be bad. It doesn't have to be, negative, it can be either way. And then they get to a certain level and they can't even listen to us. So if you were to put that in your house, so she starts off here, she's asleep in a bed, for example. You're getting ready, she's aware you're getting ready, and each stage she's getting a little bit more stressed. Then when you leave the house, she's at the top, so she's stressed, so she's as full of stress as she can get. So if we try and change things so if she's getting super excited when we're saying walk here, so let's go for a walk, then let's just change that slightly. Come on, Darla, it's time to go out. Make it boring, but actually have fun out on your walk.
Yeah.
Does that make
definitely.
sense?
No, 100%, definitely. I'm definitely going to do that from this evening, 100%.
I think you'll find that very rewarding in terms of you'll be almost like, what, do you not want me anymore then?
I know what you mean.
Happy doing your stuff over there, which isn't a bad thing. And also space is a big thing as well. So if she has the entire run of the house, she can continue practicing this worried behavior of barking in the living room, howling in the living room, at the front door, barking, howling in the bedroom, for her own free will. If that stairgate's there, it stops that behavior. So she can still do it at the stairgate, but she can't then do it
all
running
over
around the house. But it's slow steps to start with. So managing her bed, that's going to be the main one for you. If you have got a crate, access to a crate is always helpful. I'm
going to get a crate, definitely, just to kind of put that there.
Just have it there. It doesn't need to move anywhere. It can stay there. And if you just want to take a bed to your mother-in-law's, you can do that. That's not a problem. And it's all about, each thing that we're trying to do is about calming, and it's about associating good things rather than negative things. Because at the minute when you leave the house, she's like, well, you've gone, you've left me, I don't know what to do. Okay, are you happy with that?
Definitely, 100%. Would you say that I should start doing all of that? Obviously I'll do that from today. Do you think I should start maybe after like a couple of days going out the house for 5 minutes and leaving her with like a Kong or anything? Or would you say just literally do that to start with, and then in a week think about doing that?
So with separation, so as humans, we go, I want to leave my dog for an hour, I want to leave my dog for however long, 5 minutes. Now it's about how long Darla can cope with being left. Now we're going to need to get a base level at some point as to how long she can be left. Now what I'm concerned that the things that she's had, she's already got some kind of, I'm going to say poisoning too, because she's had the Kong, she's had the lick mat, she's had the snuffle mat come out before, and her association is that they come out and you leave. So you need to just get a little, I'll probably say for a few days, just get acclimatized into this is a good thing, because we don't want to break that trust and make her suspicious. So if we push to go straight out the front door before she's ready, then she's going to go, meh, I know what you're doing.
Exactly.
I know what you're doing, and I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm not stupid.
So
I would wait a little bit. So 3 or 4 days, just practice in the same room, staying in the same room. And it might be that you walk into your kitchen. I don't know how you lay out of your house, obviously, but if you walk into your kitchen and then come back again before she's finished. And then we can build that up. So you can build that up in like a week's time if you want to. Go and stand outside the front door. If you know that you can get to 50 seconds before she barks, before she gets upset, then return at 30 seconds. So that she's well underneath where she gets upset. Okay, you've got your camera.
That's set up. Definitely. I think that's a good thing as well, because I can I've been giving her that Kong. It's lucky as well because I've been giving her the Kong and I've been like staying with her while she's been having the Kong. I haven't left her. But the snuffle mat and the licky mat, I haven't given her it since we saw that woman last summer because of the fact I gave her it a couple of times, and then when we left it with her, she just wasn't interested. And then I knew straight away that she knew what they were. So luckily she hasn't seen them in like under a year. So hopefully, like, I'm gonna go get her some sausages today and put a couple of sausages in that snuffle mat and a bit of kibble and give that to her later and see what she thinks, which will probably be quite nice for her because she wouldn't have seen that in a long time. But I'm going to keep doing the thing with the Kong, put her harness on. Her bed at the minute is in the lounge, so I'm just going to put it where I want it to be, in the lounge, and kind of just give her like her dinner on a licky mat on her bed, put her harness on. And then what I'll probably do is in like the next 3 days, like just walk out of the door for all of 30 seconds while she's having it, and then walk back in and just kind of get her used to the fact of like it's a good thing. But I think, like you said, that positive association with kind of enjoying her own company will come with time. She'll kind of learn. I'm gonna look at getting a stair gate today and putting that up because that's definitely needed. And I think that would be better as well, because I feel like Darla works herself up more by running around the house, getting all upset, looking for me, being like, oh my God, where have you gone? So I think it would be better for her that even if she just wants to sit by the stair gate the whole time that I'm out, she can sit. Do you know what I mean? Instead of running around the whole house. And I feel like it's a little bit like overwhelming for her as well, because she's so little that she's got this entire big house to run around and be like, oh my God, where's my mum? So I think that's definitely going to be like, that's definitely going to be, because I'm not giving her any attention. She's like, Mum. I feel like that's definitely going to be like some positive like steps to do 100%. It is just going to be like one of them things where it takes time, but I'm wanting it to work. So I'm definitely like dedicated to putting my all into it.
And there isn't a it's not the same as, your dog's pulling on the lead, and we can kind of turn that around within a few hours. We can have that turned around, but it's then continuing the practice, whereas separation is a bit different, because we're playing with our dog's emotions, so we're trying to get them to do something that they're not comfortable to currently do,
100%,
and make them realize that it's okay. I mean, there's that's just kind of the icing on the cake in terms of the tip of the iceberg, rather, not the icing on the cake, in terms of actually starting the training. I'm quite happy. I'll send you over some stuff around your routine, what triggers she's got. Do you have a back door as well as a front door, or do you just have
we've got 2 French doors, which are effectively the back door. So there's a back door and a front door. So the lounge has the 2 French doors in it.
Okay. And do they lock from the outside as well? So could you leave out of
Yes, they do.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll kind of bank that one for the time being, because sometimes we'll start using different doors rather than that same door.
100%.
Set from. But I don't want to do too much too soon and give you too much too soon either. But are you happy with that? What we've
definitely 100%. I mean, I've noticed as well with Darla, I've been giving her that Kong, and when it comes to food, she'll just like eat on her own anyway. But I've noticed with that Kong, I can go around the house and do odd bits, and she's very like that with like high value treats like bones and that like piggle stick awfulness. Hang on, I'm just going to decline this call. I don't even know who that is ringing me. Sorry, someone just rang me and I don't even know who it was, so I had to decline the call. She will definitely, if I give her like a high value treat, sit with the treat and not be even bothered with me. I've noticed with that awful treat that I now know what it is, that if I leave her with it, I can do whatever I want and she will chew it all day long. So I'm just going to try and incorporate that with that snuffle mat and the licky mat and the Kong, and keep doing that. But like I said, I've already started the Kong from last week, and she loves the Kong, and she gets excited when she sees it now, because she like knows that she's going to get something she wants. But I'm definitely going to try her licky mat out tonight with her dinner, and see how that goes. So that'll be really good. Like I say, obviously it's good that I've got like you as support, because I can just keep letting you know like how she's getting on, and it's good as well because with that camera, like right now, this is her right now, right, she's not bothered. That's her tail going mad because she's obviously playing with the cat, but this is what she's like with the cat. Honestly, you've got to watch this. It's absolutely hilarious, her and the cat just constantly playing together. This is literally what they're like all day long. She's just so funny. But this is what I mean. I could do whatever right now, and she literally would not care because she's too occupied doing whatever she wants to do. But yeah, with that camera, it lets you record what's going on.
Okay.
So I can always like record how she's been in that period. If like there's howling or whatever, I can record and kind of let you know how like she is being, so you can see it yourself. But I'm definitely going to start that stuff from this evening, which is why I'm glad we've had this call like in the day, so I can start doing that from this evening. And I'm glad that I've got all them things already, so I don't have to like delay it. But I'm totally committed to the fact that it's something like this never changes overnight. It's like telling someone with depression to not be depressed. Like you can't do that. And it's going to be like a thing over time, but I'm committed to kind of getting all the help and advice I can get, so then I can then keep like putting it in place over the long term.
And it's a process as well that she'll need to go through. So when we're giving her food things, when we're giving the snuffle mat and the calm and the lick mat, we're not relying on them so that we can leave her. We're relying on her. We're just building up her confidence in terms of being calm, confident, and then eventually we can leave her.
And that's the thing. I think it's just got to be her building up her own self-confidence and being fine in her own company. So then when I do leave, it's not a thing of I'm leaving, it's just kind of a thing that she's chilling. That's it really. But yeah, I'm happy to definitely commit myself to it and know that it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take a while, but I think it's good that kind of I've got everything that I need apart from the stair gate to kind of get started with that tonight. And then I can just keep you updated and let you know as things go on.
I mean, what I would look to do is probably in around about 2 weeks time we have another call.
Definitely.
What I'll do in between now and then, so if you can keep me posted on what's happening, so roughly once a week, or a little bit more if you want to, that's fine.
100%.
I'll put you into our other Facebook community as well, so we've got a private group where it's basically just paid clients that are in there. And it's just a bit of added support. There's some people in there that have separation issues, not the people with dogs. And there may be some stuff in there that you think, actually, I'll give that a go as well. What I would say is kind of while we're training together, if you can kind of not look too much into what other people are doing, because that can kind of skew what's happening.
No, 100%. Every dog's different as well.
And I'll send over to you. They are a little bit boring, but like your routine, writing down exactly what you do, the triggers that she's got, how she responds, whether you can change those anyway. So the keys, it might be that your keys are already in your pocket rather than in the door, because that rattling might be something
that will be good as well for my ecstasy, because obviously I'm the one that's like dealing with all the calls and stuff, but he's going to want to kind of know like any tips and stuff. So literally that'll be really good to see that, because I can then send that to him as well.
Absolutely. And if you want to send in the recording, you can do.
100%. Perfect. It's been amazing. Well, I'll go online and I'll book a call for like 2 weeks time, and I'll update you in the next couple of days kind of how it went with tonight with the harness and the Kong and that, and the licky mat, and then I'll speak to you in a couple of days, and then obviously have another call in 2 weeks.
That sounds good.
Okay, fantastic. It's been amazing. It's been so lovely talking to you. Thanks so much.
It's been nice to meet you finally. Take care.
I know.
See you later.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.